So, of course, it is the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship final for Counter-Strike 1.6. We're finally here after 5 days. Joining me, of course, is Lurpis from Power Gaming. Lurpis, an amazing game, hopefully, ahead of us here. And, of course, it will be best of 3 in the final. What's your overall opinion on this game?
It's going to be a great game. When I really think about the match, my brain tells me that FX is his favorite. But then I rethink, and my gut says NaVi. So we'll just have to wait and see.
So there you see on your screens the lineup, of course, of both teams. And we are going to be getting this one underway here shortly. Of course, as I mentioned, best of 3. First map will be Train, then moving on to Dust 2. And should we need it, finally, we will be moving over to Tuscan, which is obviously the map which we saw NaVi take down NTW on yesterday to seal their spot here in the World Championship final. And of course, NaVi, last season's champions, they've got their chance to kind of join Rafa in history and become the first team in Counter-Strike 1.6 to win the Cup twice.
Frag Executors actually has the same chance too, as they won the first ever Extreme Masters season all the way back in 2007. They also made the Grand Finals 2 years ago. So their record in this building is pretty amazing.
Yeah, they seem to like CeBIT somehow. And we saw the teams come on stage there. You see Edward on the end. Both of them, of course, going to warm up. But let's talk a little bit more specifically about the first map. It will, as we said, be Train. What's your opinion on Train between these teams?
It'll be interesting to see how it goes. NaVi is easily considered one of the world's best teams on Train, but I think FX's specific playing style on Train counters NaVi very well, and we've seen that in the past, and NaVi has had some trouble against FX. See how it goes this time.
Well, if we look back at the previous results, it's actually very, very even. And at the European Championships, of course, the third place game was between NaVi and FX, and it went 2-0 to FX. And what's your opinion on how that game may just affect this one?
I don't think it's going to have too big of an effect. We heard NaVi's manager Zero Gravity say that they weren't necessarily as into the game as they should have been.
So we are going to start the knife round, and of course the winner of this knife will decide which team they start on. Most probably, of course, the counter-terrorist team. So let's get into the game. It's the grand final of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships, and it's NaVi versus Frag Executors. So let's jump straight into it then. The knife round. Important one here on Train to get off to that great start as the stronger CT side. In the game that we saw yesterday, actually it was the terrorist side that seemed to be somehow stronger. Here we go. First kills coming out for Frag Executors. Only Markelov has brought one back for the current world champions. And we actually have Zeus left all alone against 4. And he gets knifed down to half HP, and there is Pasha to finish it off. So Frag Executors, mission accomplished. They get to stick on this counter-terrorist team. And does that sway your influence on how this game's going to go any?
For most teams, I would say it would, but for these two specific teams, they're actually very good on terrorist side as well. Yesterday, in the other semi-final, we saw NaVi take 7 terrorist side rounds against MTW on the same map, and FX is notoriously good on Train's terrorist side.
Well, as you can see there, NaVi having a little bit of a chat as to how they're going to go into this terrorist side. And you would probably expect Frag Executors to be coming out at half-time with a lead. We'll just have to see exactly how big that one is. And we did see, of course, Frag Executors, when they had a look, back in, I think it was Season 3, where they got destroyed by MTW, actually on Train, when they were part of MYM.
That was the 15-0 half.
Yeah. And they'll be hoping for none of that today here in the grand final. Frag Executors also on their feet in the circle. And they'll be looking to get off to that great start by winning the pistol round. And what kind of percentage would you give Frag Executors as the favourites in this match?
I think it's really, really close to a 50-50, but just based on NaVi's performance on Train earlier on in the tournament, I would give them a very slight advantage. Maybe around 45-55%, around there.
As I mentioned previously, second map will be Dust 2. Third map, Tuscan, if we need it. Which NaVi won't mind too much. They showed a great game against MTW, winning their first half 12-3 on the terrorist side. Of course, MTW did start to come back into it. It ended 16-12 in the end. Frag Executors finished with their discussion. All sat down. NaVi about to do the same, I guess. And there we go. Both teams going to be ready here in just a second. I'm hoping for an epic best-of-3 match here in the Season 5 World Championship Finals in the Intel Extreme Masters. As you can see there on your screen, both teams sat down. Manager for either side behind them. And the restarts should be coming here in just a second. Obviously the team's taking his chance to get some last-minute warm-up. They have been set up on stage for quite a while now, so that should be okay. The last I heard, by the way, the third place game for Counter-Strike 1.6 was going on between SK and MTW. And it was actually tied 1-1 in maps with SK leading 9-7. I guess that's progressed a little bit since the last time I heard, but we'll try and keep you updated on that. And it looks like Neo will be having a new headset before we kick off this one. And don't forget, for you guys at home, you can still buy the ESL TV HD Pass, which will give you obviously this game in high definition, plus all the VODs from all 5 days here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships in high definition. Kugan just saying in game there, Neo is changing headset, so that'll put us back just a couple of minutes while he gets it all set up. And Lepis, why don't you run us through train here and what you're expecting to see from these both sides?
NaVi likes to play fairly slow, and they also like to mix it up with their usual 2-2-1 rush that we saw a lot in their semi-final against MTW. I expect them to be hitting inner early on quite a bit, and later on in the half I think they'll be reverting more towards their outer rushes. FX, on the other hand, on their CT side, recently in this tournament they've actually gone all the way back to triple opping, which is very effective when their players are hitting their shots, but it basically means that they're very vulnerable if any of their players are off and start missing shots. And also, if they were to lose a couple rounds in a row, their money will be greatly affected.
Now, of course, the buying up 3 orbs is going to be a high-risk strategy, but also a high reward if it pays off for them.
Yeah, especially against a team like NaVi, who still generally likes to play slower more than faster. It's very hard to gain entry to any sites against oppers.
Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ESLTV. We'll be posting regular updates there, and of course some exclusive content from the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships, and also giving some nice premium keys away as well. Definitely a good place to follow ESL TV. As you can see, for those at home, we are packed here in the Intel Extreme Masters Hall. In fact, a little bit earlier on, security had to close the doors because we were too full.
And there are a lot of people watching here.
And it's nice to see that everyone's not camera shy, by the way. Yeah, we actually put in some more chairs the other morning because we realized after the first couple of days that we probably need more chairs. And we are all packed out here, people sitting on the floor as well. I'm just getting requests here from the crowd. They want me to move my bottle so they can see my screen. So here we go then, Frag Executors versus NaVi, the grand final of the Intel Extreme Masters. So here we go then, Lerpis. The match we've been waiting for 5 whole days is finally upon us. NaVi looking to win their second Intel Extreme Masters title in a row. Let's see if they can do it. Of course, starting out here on that harder terrorist side. And we're going to stick with Taz because he might just have some work to do. As NaVi starts to push in, he's just spotted the head of one.
And NaVi taking their time just as expected. They don't want to make any too quick decisions that could cost. They want to take it slow, so even if one of their players gets taken down, they still have a chance to come back. And right here, Taz takes out Edward to open up the round, and he's able to fall all the way back. That is a great kill by Taz.
Yeah, really nice push there. Didn't even take so much damage either.
And it looks like NaVi is getting ready to execute down the lower ramp right now.
Yep, here they go, moving now into this inner side. Let's stick with Kuban, see what he can do on the defense. Actually, Lord's gone down low. There come Taz and Pasha with another couple of kills. Senya and Star, it's the last 2 men alive. There goes Senya, down to Taz, and Kuban will finish it off. And Frag Executors will win their first round here of the grand final. And I'd say both of these teams, we touched on this in the previous games here on stage, but both teams very emotional, obviously very loud.
Yep, and that will definitely have an effect on the series. And it looks like NaVi decided to buy Deagles, and they're going to be rushing outside. They're probably expecting FX to be saving for those AWPs, so they know they're going to have at least 1 or 2 USPs. And Pasha opens up the round right there in alley, taking out 2 before Zeus takes him out. And it looks like NaVi's going to slow down a little bit.
This is interesting. We've got Markloff already pushed up to that outer area. He's quickly dispatched by Neo. There is Edward. Will drop Kuban. And it's a good round so far for NaVi. Edward will finally fall, and it leaves just Zeus, the in-game leader of NaVi, to pull off a 1 versus 3. But still, they've got 2 kills, which is always nice to have.
Yeah, and right now, FX is set up perfectly. They're spotting every possible part of the map, so Zeus should not be able to get the bomb down. And he gets spotted there by Neo, who easily finishes him off. And I believe FX had 1 person playing with a USP that round, which means they only lost a single FAMAS, even though NaVi ended up having 4 Deagles that round. So it was a good round by FX, and now they know NaVi's going to be on a save round, which of course should make the score 3-0 in a minute here.
Yep, unless something crazy happens, the polls should go 3-0 in the lead. It looks like they're going to be pushing this outer area. Senya already down in the bottom of ladder room. And the spam coming out from FX. Senya still sat back inside of that ladder room. Doesn't want to push just yet. Pasha USP again, so next round we'll probably be seeing that AWP come out. As the grenades go in towards the end of that ladder room.
And NaVi taking a lot of damage from those nades. And Kuban opens up on Zeus. Sees a couple more people coming out of the top ramp. Takes 1, takes 2.
Great,
makes it a hat trick. And Starix is the only man left, and he gets taken out by Neo. And that's a clean round for FX.
Yeah, very clean round, and of course it will see them 3-0 up, so we'll start going perfectly for the 2007 champions. But now we will be seeing finally NaVi with the money to buy. And this is where we'll see how NaVi's T side is probably going to shape up against Frag Executors.
And they have very good spawns for the outer bomb side right now. And it looks like they're actually going to go for a quick rush outside, where FX has only 3 people right now, with 1 person helping in the Z hallway.
Here is Zeus. Will take out Lord. Good start for NaVi as they move up onto this outer bomb site. So far, no one else spotted them. Here is 1 man. Great from Zeus again as he drops Neo. And FX will start to rotate their inner men to defend this outer bomb site.
And there's actually 3 people in NaVi who have under 50 health. So they're definitely still taking their time and hoping to get 1 more pick before they actually move in on the bomb train.
Taz starting to move up through this CT spawn area into the back of train yard, and as I switch away from Kuban, of course he gets a kill, but Senior and Edward return. It's now all on Taz. What can Taz do? He knows knows there's a man somewhere in front of him there on the bomb train. Will take the head off Edward, but Markelov will finish off. And there is round number 1 of this grand final for NaVi. There's their theme tune.
And we see Pasha with the AWP once again. I believe he'll be the only person from FX able to afford. And actually Neo has one as well. So they have double ops out right now. And NaVi looks to be going towards alley for their slow 4 alley pick.
Yep, they are going to flash down towards the end. Pasha does take some of the damage from that grenade. This could be very interesting. 2 AWPs on this outer side. Let's have a look, see if NaVi are still there. Yes, they are.
And they're starting to move up and getting closer to an execution. And Lord opens up, takes out Markelov. Pasha with a kill of his own as well. And all of NaVi is right now coming out of alley, and they're being sandwiched by FX.
Yeah, Starix is going to have to pull off something nice here. He did have a man on top of that 5 train that has now dropped down. Pasha, of course, has been killed by Edward, so that's 1 AWP out of play. Taz will follow. Both Neo and Lord very low HP as well. It's looking good for NaVi. And just a quick update, the 3rd place decider game between SK and MTW is going to overtime in the 3rd map. There goes Kuban as well. It's now all on Edward, who is there down by the end of the 6th train. Drops his first man. Really needs to get the frag off onto Neo. There's a man in the Z hallways. Can he get the kill? No, he won't. Kuban will finish off the round. And FX bounce straight back in round number 5 to bring the score to 4-1.
Yep, and due to how many players from NaVi actually died in the round that they just won before, they're most likely not going to have any money this round. And should be another save round for them, which should put the score at 5-1 for Frag Executors. And we see a couple, at least 1 Deagle, possibly even 2 for NaVi, but FX should be able to take care of it. We have both Kuban and Taz pushed aggressively in the inner sight, and that is exactly where NaVi is headed towards right now.
Let's watch Taz as he gets his first, and his second, and his third, and his 4th. Kuban will finish off. Great round from Taz. And the crowd enjoyed that one here at CeBIT, and it is 5-1, Lopez, as you said. Just looking down the scoreboard quickly, Starix 0 for 6, which is quite the contrast to what we saw on the scoreboard during the MTW game. It was Starix who was leading the way.
Yeah, Starix was playing extremely well in that game. Of course, it's still early on in this game, so it might be too early to draw any conclusions. There's always a chance he has just been getting unlucky so far. And Zeus goes out in the hands of Pasha, opens up the round really quick. Neo also takes out Edward. And Lord is shooting at Markelov right now in the ladder room. Takes out Kuban, who tried to push out of Z. And right now, NaVi is just waiting for picks.
We're probably going to see an alt battle here between Markelov and Neo. Starix will finally grab his first frag of the game.
And right now we have Pasha flanking all the way around from T-spawn, from alley. And it'll be interesting to see if NaVi maybe pushes up too quick or if Pasha will be there in time to kill people in the back. And Sanya is also going for the flank, and he's on the top ramp right now, going towards the CT spawn, hoping to catch all of the FX in their backs.
This is an interesting move from Pasha. We'll grab him the frag onto Markelov. 3 versus 2 now.
And Sanya is still on the flank, and he looks like he's going to be headed towards the Z hallway, where he's going to be catching Taz in just about a second round. Taz goes down, and Pasha is now the lonely person standing for FX in a 1 versus 2.
And it completely on the other side here to NaVi, and he's got the bomb down there with him as well. Only 18 seconds. Pasha peeks out. There is Starix. And I mentioned his great performance against MTW, and he's certainly boosted his score there with a hat-trick of kills to seal the round for NaVi. 5-2.
And it will be another buy round for both teams. FX still has enough money stacked up due to NaVi's save rounds that they'll still be able to buy.
Bomb drop for safety here by NaVi as they start to work forward.
NaVi taking this round a little slower. They did not have the good spawns, so they're just taking their time.
Starix already inside of ladder room.
And right on the other side of that wall is actually Lord. And they're just waiting for each other to push, and we'll see if either one of them actually makes a move. And if they do, who does first.
Currently Starix playing the waiting game. No Muddy moving just yet. Sanyat has lost a bit of health.
And Pasha just cleared alley with a flash from Neo, and it looks like Neo will be rotating towards the inner, and FX will be overstacked with the side.
Here we go, first frag of the round. It comes from Lord. Good start for the Poles. Let's watch Markelov and see if he can get a pick on this inner side. It looks like his teams have decided to move over as Taz will drop Edward. Not looking good as Pasha will take out another one. Markelov finally chimes in. He actually chimes in with two. Onto both Kuban and Neo. Zeus has taken out Taz. And all of a sudden it's looking good for NaVi as that bomb gets planted on the inner side. Here comes the push from behind. Lord not spotted in time. And he knows where the other man is. Here comes the peek from Lord. And well, pretty amazing stuff from Lord. Great movement up and down the ladder there on that train. And the defuse, of course, will follow. It's 6-2.
Yeah, NaVi was not expecting that flank at all. You could see Markelov is so focused on the Z hallway, he did not even think twice about anyone being on the flank. And FX actually ended up sending both Lord and Pasha on the flank.
These flanks have been somewhat troublesome for NaVi. We saw Pasha in the previous round, able to make a difference, but of course lost out in the 1v1 at the end.
NaVi was hoping to sell that round as a fake, as they were hoping FX would think it's a double fake after they threw everything towards inner and then had one person go out of the ladder room, but Lord was unfortunately pushed there, and that just stopped the rush right there. And NaVi's once again on another save round, and NaVi really needs to string rounds together once they get their guns back.
It's looking like a more standard scoreline that we're used to expect, and there is those two AWPs, one with Kuban, one with Neo, one on each side, and a frag for both of them.
And Pasha spots two NaVi players in alley. Takes out
he
both.
will get Markelov through the box. Here is his final one. No, Edward will actually take him out with a deagle. And now he looks to get his hands on that weapon, but Neo was covering the AWP. And Edward not quite able to make it count. And that will be another one, of course, for FX. It's 7-2.
NaVi actually has the very worst spawns of the whole map pretty much this round. So even though they're able to buy, they're not going to be able to rush anywhere, at least not effectively.
There we go. Looks like we'll have one man splitting off in towards that inner area. Rest of NaVi got the nade down. Markelov already been hit, as was Neo. They're starting to work alleyway a little bit more. Of course, very dangerous with those two AWPs already in play from FX. There we go, we'll be seeing a push. Let's get over to Neo, who is defending alleyway with that AWP. Quite a laid-back approach, sat in the back of that train yard, but it looks like he's going to go for a bit of a peek. And as he does, he misses a shot and moves back.
And NaVi's already pushing up to Neo, and there's no one to help him right now. And Kuban has finally rotated, and Pasha takes out 2 kills. He's going for the third, and he
Pasha
gets
will
him.
finish it off. Brilliant round from Pasha again.
And that makes it 8-2 for Frag Executors, building a big lead early on in his first map of the grand final.
And Zeus seems pretty angry at that. I think Zero Gravity just telling him to chill a little bit. About 8-3, the lead is guaranteed for FX. Let's see how big of a lead they can make it going towards the half. And they're back on the eco now on NaVi. So you can expect this round to be going over to Frag Executors unless something ridiculous happens. Let's watch Taz, because Pasha will get involved. He has got himself two, looking for a final one. Has to switch out to the USP, does get the kill. And Pasha will be there as well. And it's a very simple round for FX, and of course not losing a single man makes it nice and cheap for them.
And NaVi's egos really haven't been effective at all. Feels like every single time they save, they just simply wait a minute and then go towards the inner side and get mowed down by Taz.
Here come the grenades onto this outer area. Smoke's down in the middle. Grenade doing a chunk of grenade to Zeus. The second one was even better. And yesterday it was Edward who was the grenade magnet for NaVi. They seem to have learned a little bit from MTW. Zeus will take out Pasha right from the very get-go. He literally has 2 health remaining though, as Markelov and Senior get those frags. This is not looking good for FX, but Lord decided not to go down ladder.
FX will be looking to save these guns. Kuban still has that AWP.
And I think he's going to be able to keep a hold of this, to be honest. Still just under 20 seconds till the bomb goes off. Markelov watching that outer sight with an AWP. Kuban right back in Whitehalls. And of course, Kuban is the last man left alive for FX.
And he'll be able to save his gun.
Take this AWP badly. But he's behind the box in the Whitehalls. And then we'll be around for NaVi. So they finally put another one on the board. 9-3.
And what NaVi really needs right now is to win this next round. So far, both times they've won a round, they have lost this next round instantly, which has forced them on another save, yet again. And we'll see what they decide to do.
Yeah, they really can't be affording to be pushed onto eco again. Otherwise, we're looking at a very healthy CT side for FX. Got Neo with a M4 at this stage. Pasha too. I didn't really notice if Kuban only had that M4, whether he's got an AWP. He does have an AWP. So at least one in the defense for FX. But that is all.
And NaVi is once again taking their sweet time, and it looks like they're finally going to start heading towards the inner side.
Whitehall's going to be overrun by NaVi. The health exchange is actually really, really level. And here we go, push will start.
And Frag Executors has Neo very close to the 2 inner players in Z, and he's rotating already, and they're going to have 3 people waiting for NaVi's execution right there.
Well, AWP with Markelov. Let's stay with him and see if we can pick anyone off down towards the back of this inner site. So far, they've just managed to get flashed as Zeus will take out Kuban. Brought back quickly by Neo, though. Oh, and Taz hasn't spotted Starix underneath that train. And there is the bomb plant. Starix, of course, is dropped. 3 versus 3. And here comes Edward. Good defense there onto Lord, who somehow managed to sneak a little bit into the back. And Neo will be helped by Pasha to finish off that frag onto Edward. Right, we go to 2-on-2. There's a second for Pasha. Can they find the third and final one? It's going to be Markelov up there. Neo will take him out. And again, FX just bouncing straight back. And again, it's Pasha who's come up with a real strong round for FX. He's currently 20 for 6.
And they also managed to pick up those both AWPs, one from Kuban and one from Markelov. So while FX is stacked up with 2 AWPs, NaVi is actually also going for a buy. They have an AWP dropped on the ground and an AK. I'm not really sure how much money the rest of the team has, but they know they simply can't afford to save anymore.
Well, 2 rounds to go. Here comes Pasha, and he sprays at the smoke, but didn't get the frag. He did damage to both Zeus and Senior, though. But most crucially, he is down and out of the round. Lord onto Edward. We're back to a 4-on-4, and the health advantage really favouring Frag Executors at this stage.
It looks like NaVi is once again rotating towards the inner site. And I believe Taz will be Taz is actually not in inner right now, but he's rotating and making his way there. Kuben is already posted up on top of the pop duck drain, looking at both lower and top ramp. Taz now starting to move towards inner. He's still staying far back. And if NaVi can actually make a clean entry into the site and just Markelov hit his shots, it could actually be very dangerous for FX.
Well, it looks like they are going to be in on this site. Flags being thrown left, right, and center. Senia will take out Lord,
who once again attempted a flank. And Markelov with the nice shots on the Cuban.
Yeah, and a couple of them are low health, but there comes a peek out after the bomb plant by Starix. Takes a head off Neo, and then Taz followed at the end. And there's a fourth round for NaVi. And I think 4 or 5, they're going to probably be happy with both, Lerpis.
For sure. They know their CT side is very strong and they can get even 15 rounds sometimes if they play perfectly. But 12, 13 are both very realistic numbers for them to be expecting from their CT side.
It looks like we're going to see somewhat of a faster push. Zeus has already naded down towards the end of the hole by that upper ramp. There was Taz playing the close position on the corner. Probably should have done better in that situation against Zeus, but it is how it is as the flashes go in. It looks like they will start to push. Kuben will pick off Zeus. Kuben will pick off Edward. Great start to the round so far by Kuben. We've got Markelov in the sight as he picks the head off Lord. And Kuben with another one. Great play from Kuben. Basically single-handedly managed to defend that inner sight. Here comes Starix though. His round is not over just yet. Pasha and Kuben remain. And Starix has taken another route towards his outer sight.
And FX is actually playing it fairly smart right now. They're sticking together to make sure that if they find Starix, they'll at least be able to trade and not die one at a time. And Kuben will be in a great spot right here if he keeps zooming in towards the 6th lane. See Starix walking out of alley. And he does. And
there is a pick from Kuben. Great round again for FX. So, it's half time. The scoreline 11-4 for the Poles. Do you think that's a success considering their opponents?
I think they would have been happy with 12. 11 is...
They would have been happier with 15, right?
Yeah, 11 might be cutting it really close. Frag Executors might just need the pistol round to pull this off. But we saw MTW get 6 rounds on NaVi yesterday, even after losing the pistol round. So you never know.
So while the teams have their halftime talk, we're going to go over to Livia, who's got an update for us.
Thanks, Joe. I am here at the Pro Gamer Arena. And we've got a score update in Counter-Strike 1.6. They're currently playing the match for 3rd place right here. We've got SK versus MTW. The first map was Inferno. SK took that one 16-6. On Nuke, MTW managed to win 16-8. They're currently playing Train right now, and it was actually 15-15. So it went into an overtime where SK is currently winning 4-1 on the counter-terrorist side. And back to the commentators so we can get back to the Counter-Strike final.
Thanks, Livia. So that game going right down to the wire, as you'd probably expect between SK and MTW, to be honest.
Yeah, they're 2 very evenly matched teams as well.
Hopefully we'll be seeing the same here.
And Edward is wanting to just get it over with. Wants to keep playing.
Well, NaVi, of course, have a comeback to put up. And if there's any team that can probably do it, NaVi might just be that team. Here on map number 1. As I mentioned earlier, Dust 2 is map number 2, and Tuscan will be the 3rd map, should we need that tie break.
And this is actually the same exact score NaVi had against SK in the group stage, and they came back and tied it up.
So here we go then. It's the second half. NaVi versus Frag Executors. The score 11-4 to FX. So a big round for NaVi, who have now switched over onto that heavily biased counter-terrorist team here on Train. And this is a must-win round for them.
Yeah, and we'll see what FX decides to do on this pistol round. Looks like they're starting out pretty slow. Kuban was kind of spotting T middle, trying to find out what kind of defense NaVi was playing, but didn't really seem to spot anyone.
Right now it's a slow crawl through those white holes. Let's have a look at the defensive setup from NaVi. Senior on the outside, Markelov on alley, Starix at the end by the upper ramp, and Edward in sniper tower, and the final man Zeus is watching that lower ramp. So pretty standard defensive start for NaVi, who could do with some magic from Edward. Obviously a bit of a pistol master that he is. And it looks like FX might just change their mind slightly.
Looks like they'll be splitting the outer bomb site. Lord is going to be spotted here in a second by Markelov in alley. Neo gets shot down to very low health early on. But Edward is being peeked by Taz, but he takes him out. Still survives somehow. Xenia takes out Kuban, Pasha Markelov, and he's down to a 3 versus 4.
Good work again from Edward, makes it another kill. Over to him, there is Zeus, only Neo remains. And he is very, very low. It did take out Edward, but Starix will finish off. And there is the pistol round for NaVi. And one pistol round each on that CT side. Both teams winning the all-important first one, 11-5.
We'll see if Frag Executors might actually want to try to buy early, knowing NaVi actually also likes to play with multiple oppers, although they only have 2, Starix and Markelov.
M4 in the hands of Senior. Starix on the inside. He's actually playing fairly defensive here, right at the back of that side.
Yeah, and it actually looks like both Starix and Markelov are saving for those AWPs. So they'll both actually be able to buy them already as early as on the 3rd round, which I expect to be the first one Frag Executors buys.
And most of the FX team already down fairly low. Nades coming out from middle. Surely that will do more damage. Lord is pushed down and got a kill onto Senior, but it's not looking good, of course, for FX on the eco. And last man alive is Neo with just 5 HP, and he will be finished off by Zeus. Get this first round on the board as quickly as possible and start putting NaVi in a position where they won't be feeling too comfortable. Both Markelov and Starix with the ups, as Lurpis mentioned, and Starix's grenade will actually pick up frag number 1 of this round. There is Pasha, but it was the only one. Zeus took out both Neo and Taz. Job done by Zeus. We have Lord and Pasha still remaining. These AWPs on outside are going to have lots of fun. Markelov in particular, who will pick off Pasha for the first frag on the entry there by FX. And the last man now is Lord, who is up against 4 from NaVi.
And it looks like he's going to be heading down the lower ramp in the inner side right now. And Starix sees him, but misses his first shot. This might give Lord an entry into the side, and he does. We'll see if he'll be able to get the bomb down as well.
This is an interesting move from Lord. Started to move forward. Just on top of the bomb train at the moment, but he's not noticed that Senior was coming in from behind. And it's a very strong defensive round from NaVi. And again, Zeus playing a key role in that one up on the upper ramp.
Yeah, Zeus really started off that round very well for NaVi. FX started off by faking T middle and alley. The T middle guy obviously got killed by those nades. And then Lord wasn't really able to do much as he dropped his AK to Neo. So Zeus basically stopped the entire FX strategy with those 2 kills.
There you go, the first shots, and Taz will go down. Let's get around to Zeus. And of course, as I go to him, he decides to run away. There's the frag onto Neo. Surely they're just going to finish off this round very easily. Yep. And they lost roughly 20 HP, and that was all during that round, did NaVi?
Because they haven't really even had close rounds yet. And a lot of the rounds, they maybe killed 1 player, max 2, and they actually have 5 kills total as a team after 4 rounds in this half. And
it looks once again like inside the favor. least for Neo. There is Senya playing that alley area just like we know he can, as he picks up the first frag onto Taz. Where's the rest of FX? Lord will pick off Senya. So they know there's at least one man.
And Neo is actually walking out of the top ramp, and he's going to see Zeus right there, and he gets taken out. That was a nice shot by Zeus, even though Neo is waiting for him. Markelov wins the AWP duel with Pasha, and it's looking like a very hard round right now for the Poles. Markelov with another nice shot, and Edward will be taking out Lord to finish the round, and that's going to make it 5-0.
11-9 overall. Actually, the 5 results that I've got from the last 5 times that these teams have played. The first one was won by FX, the second one by NaVi, the third by FX, then NaVi, then FX. So, if we're following that form, NaVi will be happy.
It's going to be a quick strategy from FX as they're going to jump out of T middle in just a second here.
Oh, and it started off nicely. Senya goes down. There was the peek from Edward. They have to deal with Edward, who will peek again over the top as he sprays and will be caught off by Kuban. Nades out.
And Lord with a nice flank behind Bomb Train, and Markelov did not have any of his teammates covering him. Starix takes out Lord, and he's still very doable for Navi, but they really have to stop FX from getting that bomb down quickly.
Oh, and there was the aggressive move by Zeus to jump up on the bomb train. Starix still alive. He's up against both Neo and Pasha.
And this is a virtually impossible round for Starix. Even if he had 100 health and a different gun, it would be very hard, as FX is in very good spots to simply delay him and win the round. And we've also got an update from the tournament area where the third place decider is still going on, and seems like MTW has tied it up and forced a second overtime as Neo kills off Starix for FX's first terrorist side round.
Yep, and that will of course propel them up to 12-9 in the lead. And just a quick look down the scoreboard. We're going to get a pause. Something wrong with Zeus. Did he just change his headphones? Did he have them on the wrong way? I think he might have. It's never going to be good when you're defending the inside. I think they're coming up a ramp and they just shoot you in the back. Headset off for Lord as well.
And we're back.
Game unpaused. Scoreline, as I said before, is 12-9. High fives along the line for NaVi. And Zeus barking out the orders. And there goes the unpause. So let's get back into game. We have a fast move by Neo in towards this outer area. He'll just wait a little while so that he can nade down to the back of that 5 train. We'll peek out here, and while it was an easy frag for Starix, in the end it was his grenade that finished off. Well, here comes Lord again. He's managed to flank through NaVi. Pasha and Kuban also picking up the kills. It's 3-on-2. Advantage swinging over to frag executors. There's Starix on the bomb train. They've not spotted him so close, and there is Zeus as well. And this round so back and forth, especially now as Pasha brings us into a 1 versus 1. There is Zeus in the Z hallways. There's a sigh of relief from Markelov. And NaVi bring us back to 12-10.
That was a huge round for NaVi. We're talking about how important it is to be able to string rounds together as a terrorist when you're losing due to the money system in CS. And right now, it is not looking good for FX, who just won a single round with only 2 people surviving and will be forced in a save round right now, which should give NaVi 11 rounds.
Yep, this eco surely not going to go well for FX. And we should see the game move into just a 1-round difference at 12-11. Well, let's not write off anything from FX, you never know. This eco going to be super hard for FX to get anything out of it. And here comes the push. Let's get around to that inside defender. It's Starix with his AWP. Got a grenade, and Zeus is there as well. And Zeus pretty much clearing up. There are 2 men still left alive. Markelov will pick off Lord. And Neo is going to get destroyed by Zeus as he comes around. And that was an easy one, of course, for NaVi. 12-11.
And Zeus is actually topping the scoreboard right now with an impressive 14-2. While Taz, the former in-game leader of the Poles, has yet to pick up a frag on their terrorist side.
And in my dream team, by the way. I think I curse every player who I put in my team.
Maybe next time you should not just make one. It's unfair.
Yeah.
And here we are with another gun round for both teams. NaVi still trailing by 1 round. And FX will now want to let him tie this up, as they are on the harder side of the map.
We seem to have a Polish fan club in the audience as well, cheering for FX. There goes the nade. Pasha will take some damage from that, but he knows that at least there's 1 man at the end of Ivy. And Pasha's not prepared to give it up just yet. He will just hang back and wait for Senya to make a push towards him.
And it looks like frag executors are rotating towards alley with the bomb, and they're going to be executing towards the outer bomb site in just a little bit here.
Pasha and Neo, of course, down to around about half health. Bomb is with Taz. And we are going to see that push.
Kuben.
Yeah, great play so far on the defense. There is Edward onto Neo as well. Only Taz and Lord left alive. Lord has managed to get up on top of that 5 train. Spots a man down in front of him. Markelov will be picked off. And after this round, we are going to have a timeout called by frag executors. And there goes the finishing frag. It's from Starix onto Lord. And now we have it all tied up at 12 all.
And so far, we've seen a great CT side from NaVi. Even though their T side wasn't that strong, like we talked about, Train heavily favors CT sides, and 4 rounds isn't all that bad. And already after 9 rounds, we see NaVi up 8-1 and the game tied at 12. And when you're tied up and on the easier side of the map with tons of money saved up, while the other team is just hoping for some extra cash, things are looking good.
There is, of course, frag executors who just called that timeout. And 4 rounds for FX is looking very difficult. They need Taz to step up, that's for sure. Neo 2 for 9, Kuben 2 for 9, Pasha 5 for 8, and Lord 8 for 9. So not a single person for FX with a positive kill-death ratio at this stage of the game. Quite the opposite over on the other side, though.
And it really is starting to feel like FX just needs what MCW had last night, just a couple individual performances. They had both Minette and Zonic clutching 1v3s that really brought MCW back into the game. And so far, we haven't really seen anything like that from FX.
Serious discussion. This first map going to play a massive role in FX's confidence moving forward. And as you can see for NaVi, it's just a matter of getting the job done for them. They're on the easier team. Should give them that advantage, especially now since we're all tied at 12-12. And how do you fancy FX's chances, Lopez, to come back and take the lead in this one?
You can never rule them out. As we saw yesterday in the semi-final against SK, they were down 11-14 on the harder side of Dust 2, which arguably can be even harder than T side of Train, and they still managed to pull it together and walk out with the win 16-14.
Spirits high though for NaVi. Now we're definitely feeling in a comfortable position, knowing that they've only got another 4 rounds to pick up on this CT side. And we should get FX sat back down in just a minute. You guys can hear Zero Gravity, the manager of NaVi. No idea what he's saying.
And FX is getting set down again. So the game will be on pause very shortly, and we'll be going back to game.
Here we go then. Markelov say NaVi are ready, and the game will be on pause. So 12-12 is the scoreline. 4 more rounds for either team to do the business. And it looks like we will be seeing an eco for Frag Executors. Yep. No money for the Poles, and that's going to be a big stumbling block for them, of course. And it looks like we could see something a little bit faster. We've got one man already pushing down Ivy. Markelov, of course, have picked off Kuban. Lord goes down. There's a double for Edward, who's playing actually quite aggressive here by that end of Ivy. And Starix will finish off. It's a simple round for NaVi. Only Edward took a massive dent there. And NaVi go in front.
This is actually the first time in the map that NaVi has the lead.
Yeah. He even lost the knife. So, weapons back with Frag Executors. Can they level us up? We're going to find out. It looks like we're going to see something a little bit quicker from FX. Neo sprays the box. Markelov will just peek off from the side. Gets the kill onto Neo. That's a massive first frag for NaVi. Taking out the star player of FX.
Markelov was shut down to 12 health, however, so at least FX was able to deal some damage there. It looks like right now they're reverting back to the inner bomb site once again, and NaVi is actually really expecting that. They have 3 people stacked up there, much like FX had on their CT side. And Zeus is actually pushing into the brown hole, where Frag Executors are holding with a perfect timing on the Taz, who just switched to a grenade. And you can see from the cameras how disappointed Taz was there.
Zeus is still here. Pasha will go down. Great play from Zeus as he flashes into the site. Can't see a guy just around in that smoke area, and Markelov and Edward will finish off. And NaVi will move up to 14. Edward enjoying the music, apparently. Only 2 more rounds from those remaining 4.
And FX is going for a fast rush for a change. And Markelov accidentally takes out Xenia, and we'll see if this might have something to do with how the round ends. Markelov quickly replies on Taz, and it's a 3v3 right now.
That could
both
have been
Kuban and Neo down to very low health. Markelov also at 30. But Zeus is already on the flank, and it looks like he'll be able to finish this round out for NaVi.
And last one alive is Kuban. Zeus finishes off Lord, and there goes Markelov onto Kuban. And that was unlucky for NaVi.
So trigger happy there.
Zero Gravity's face was awesome when that happened. Just like, what? So, map point, 15-12. NaVi have 3 rounds to seal victory here on map number 1. And their CT side being all but flawless. 11-1 they're up. And Taz is 0 for 12. There we go, first kill for Edward. Good start for NaVi as they look to seal up this first map. What can they do now? There's another one for Edward. Senia in between. And it's looking absolutely brilliant. There's Zeus onto Lord. Last man alive is Neo. And he will be finished off. Map number 1 goes over to NaVi. And the world champions from Season 4 of the Intel Extreme Masters are now in the driving seat to pick up a 2nd consecutive title. 16-12, great first map. And a 12-1 CT side there to finish off the game. Taz 0 for 13. And that will really be a bit of a kick in the teeth for Taz, I think. Just couldn't quite find it there on this first map. So, while the teams get themselves ready for map number 2, which of course will be on Dust 2, we're going to go to a quick advertisement break. But don't go anywhere. Coming up next, of course, will be map number 2 from the Counter-Strike 1.6 Grand Final here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship.